Hi, my name is Caitlin, and today my colleagues Braden, Megan, Oai, and Rebecca and I have the pleasure of introducing our business plan for Garden of Eden to you. So first, just a brief outline of what we're going to cover today. I'll start off by talking about Garden of Eden as a whole, who we are, and what we do. Then we'll go into a little bit of specifics on our growing system, our operations and management. Megan will talk to you about our marketing. Then we'll go into our financials, and finally, a message directly to you, our investors. Firstly, our mission statement: to serve the community of Salem through the production of healthy, plant-based food, as well as to educate, inspire, and emphasize the importance of sustainable agriculture. So this is our mission statement largely because our primary goal is to be a source that the community of Salem can trust and to consistently produce valuable produce that's locally sourced, and also just focused on clean eating and plant-based foods. So a little bit behind the business, Garden of Eden is largely a two-part business. First, our vertical farm, which is going to be focused on growing produce, which we will primarily be wholesaling. What we don't wholesale will be distributed to the cafe side of our business, which is mostly grab and go, and the majority of our ingredients for that cafe are either going to be grown on site or locally sourced. Another aspect of our business is the community outreach, and one component of this is education. So we hope to host classes and tours of our facility for multiple age groups. So a little bit about the grow system. We will mostly be working with a company out of Canada called ZipGrow. That's going to be our main supplier. You can see the two blueprints for our indoor systems here. These are going to be entirely self-contained systems that are water recycling. They're 95% more efficient for water usage than conventional farming. They're also hydroponic systems, which means they're entirely soil-free and they're able to irrigate themselves and recycle that water, as I said. Three main benefits of vertical farming and these systems in particular is that they're very sustainable, they're productive, and they're efficient. They give us the ability to grow year-round. So our systems will be operating 50 out of the 52 weeks in the year. They also provide us with higher yields than conventional farming, so we're able to produce a lot more. And then another benefit is a very short turnaround time. So we will be able to produce those vegetables and herbs faster than conventional farmers would be able to. As far as our operations go, our grow system and our vertical farm is going to be visible from the cafe. And that's why we're offering the cafe, which specializes in breakfast and lunch. Majority is going to be grab and go. We'll be able to do to-go sandwiches. Megan will talk a little bit more about our menu later on. And then I talked a little bit before about our community outreach. That ties into our community involvement. And another avenue that we hope to pursue that through is to be able to host things for the community, such as small groups, Bible studies for churches, even staff meetings for different organizations and companies. And then we also hope to be able to host some classes, such as yoga classes or things like that in our facility. And another, like I said before, another benefit of that is just to get people in the door, to get people talking about Garden of Eden, to really get that involvement and that inspiration out to the community about agriculture as a whole, about vertical farming, etc. Now I'm going to pass it off to Bear to talk about our organization.
So I'll be talking about the organizations. First of all, the chart of Garden of Eden. So the Garden of Eden will have 16 employees overall for the vertical farm and also the cafe. So we'll have one general manager for the cafe and for the vertical farm, and we'll have two assistant manager, one for the vertical farm, one for the cafe, and we'll have head chef for the cafe, and we will have three full-time employees for the farm. And we'll have cafe attendants. We'll have three of cafe attendants. We'll have two dishwashers. We'll have two barista, and we'll have assistant chef, which all included 16 employees overall. And for the salary, for the professional positions, general manager, assistant manager, and head chef, it will be based on a salary with the basic benefits and possibility for the yearly bonuses. However, for the skilled and unskilled labor positions, like farm employees and cafe attendants, baristas, dishwasher, and assistant chef, it will be hourly with overtime opportunities. Payroll distributed yearly every month through deposit and direct check. So I'll be talking about the job descriptions. For the general management, we are looking forward at least general manager have 3 to 5 years experience, expect management role in agriculture. And for the assistant manager for the cafe, it should have diverse professional background, especially working with people, preferably in the food service industries. And at least the manager can nurture a friendly environment in the workplace and meaningful relationship with visitors. And for the farm, we highly require assistant manager for the farm to at least have previous management experiences, preferably in the agricultural industry. And we also require the managers to have at least educational background in agriculture. And for we also for unskilled positions, we are also looking for the young generation or students from age 18 to 30 years old. And my friend Megan will talk about the marketing.
Hi, my name is Megan, and I will be further talking about the marketing segment of our presentation. The premise of our business is to build a hydroponic farm, which will concentrate on wholesale live vegetable markets for hydroponic produce and the exportation to neighboring counties. The produce not sold directly will be used in a vegan cafe located directly inside the building where we will house the farm. This will allow the general public to be involved with the farm and the locally sourced produce themselves. The specific produce that we will be generating is split into 2 different categories. We have greens and specialty herbs for wholesalers, the restaurant, and the cafe. The greens will include lettuce, chard, bok choy, mustard seed, kale, and collards. The herbs will include basil, cilantro, oregano, fennel, mint, parsley, chives, thyme, lemongrass, and chervil. The produce will be specifically marketed to wholesalers and local restaurants. We also handcrafted a menu of exactly what we would be serving at our location. And as you notice, we are including toast, smoothies, acai bowls, sandwiches, salads, and power bowls. The menu itself has a build-your-own style to allow for a custom-built experience, and there are also some standard options for customers who prioritize convenience over customization. The menu, as you can see, also has sandwiches inspired by different places around the world to add just a more adventurous and a tasteful experience. Next, I'll be talking further about our specific segments that we will be marketing to specifically. The first is just vegans and vegetarians themselves, since it is a 100% vegan cafe. So vegans are more interested in the lifestyle that it entails, so we will be more specifically looking at more of the hippies, yogis, environmental activists, and health-conscious people. Vegans coming to or leaving yoga classes, gym sessions, or other fitness-related classes could benefit from the grab-and-go options that our cafe offers. Our cafe is also open for everyone, so that's why our next target market is flexitarians. Flexitarians are sort of like vegans, but they just incorporate more meat-free options into their diet, but then they're still eat meat and dairy and all animal products whenever they want as well. Our market for flexitarians is more just those people that are living those active lifestyles as well and are just more health-conscious people. The next market is millennials, and more specifically, moms on the go. We have found that there's been an increase in millennials wanting to incorporate more vegan meals into their diet, and so we're going to capitalize on that market. Moms that shop at Trader Joe's, New Seasons, and Whole Foods is a potential demographic that we think is worth marketing to. And then lastly, we're going to market to just those people that are more interested in the farm itself. So more local farmers and just anyone incorporated in the agriculture industry. Next, I'll be talking about more of our competitors in a deeper SWOT analysis. Next, I'll be talking about how we will actually be marketing to our target market. So first off, we want to refrain from using the term vegan and vegetarian and meat-free. By using more inclusive language, we hope to attract a wider demographic interested in healthy options, sustainability, and farming. The push towards the minimalistic movement and trendy Portland-style atmosphere will also inspire our branding itself. The design layout of the cafe is more of a minimal seating, large glass window, as you can see in this picture to the right, with white and wood accents. This is just kind of a general idea of what we would want our cafe to look like, and then you get a perfect view of the hydroponic farm as you're eating. Next, I'll be talking more about the social media strategy that we'll be using. So the main sources are Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. I created a mock Instagram page of kind of just the design layout and the feed of what we would be posting, just a short and quick bio and a link to our website. And then with the pictures, we just want to kind of show events that are happening, new things on the menu, daily promotions. Social media sites tend to be dominated by individuals who act as social media influencers, so we will reach out to local vegan micro-influencers to be brand ambassadors for Garden of Eden. Micro-influencers tend to have a base of between 7,000 to 15,000 followers and have a higher engagement rate. There is also a local vegan blog that we can reach out to and get PR press and have them write about our menu. Next is to actually have physical flyers and coupons located at yoga studios, fitness clubs, or gyms, and just hand them out. By partnering with these places, and we can potentially have events later on with these businesses that align with our mission statement and are looking to be sustainable as well. We'll also be providing guided tours just to give the general public more of an idea of just what we are doing and who we are and how the hydroponic system works itself. And then next, I'll be talking more of the promotion for wholesalers themselves, just because it is a lot different than the cafe. When doing business with the wholesalers, we plan to use more of a pricing strategy to sell large volumes of produce. We'll partner with wholesalers to lower prices during certain times of the year, such as holidays, local festivals or events, and certain seasons. By lowering prices to wholesalers during this time, we will enable the wholesalers to reduce the pricing strategy. To reduce the prices they charge their customers. And then we will also do this by a rebate program with the local stores that we will partner with. This would include weekend promotions to encourage customers to buy more. The rebate program would be set up to the store, so the store would reduce the regular price by a certain percentage and then be reimbursed by the Garden of Eden. And in order to reach out directly to the potential wholesalers, we will plan to directly email them and then to phone call them to meet with them in person and just have that face-to-face interaction. And next, Braden will be talking about the financials.
Thanks, Megan. So for our financials, before we start them, we will be splitting our organization up into two different entities. We will have an S Corp, which will be the Garden of Eden, and this will be our farm and our cafe. We will also have a Qualified Opportunity Fund, LLC, called Old Ice House, LLC, and this will be the land and the buildings. The reason why we're going to separate them and have two different entities mainly is for the liability reason. We want to protect our land and building asset, and we want to keep that in protection against a possible lawsuit or something similar to that. So we really want to protect that building, our main asset, and that's why we're going to form two different entities. Both of these entities, they are not subject to taxation, and so this really is a benefit to the company itself because the company is not taxed, only the shareholders.
Thank you, Braden. Before we discuss the financial projections for Garden of Eden, we will briefly cover those of the Old Ice House, the affiliated LLC. The property is priced at $1.1 million, and the current owner estimated that renovations would cost around $400,000. We decided to increase that number in case renovations or kitchen installation costs are higher than anticipated. We plan to purchase solar panels from Earthlight Innovative Solar Solutions to help offset the tenancy electricity costs. Rental income was calculated by multiplying the facility's square footage by a monthly base rate and adding enough to offset the depreciation of the solar panels. Expenses consist of insurance, property tax, and depreciation, as well as a reserve for maintenance. Operations will not extend beyond maintaining the building and collecting rent from Garden of Eden. Because significant improvements will be made in accordance with Opportunity Fund regulations, a large initial cash investment will be required. Once renovations are completed, however, the business is not expected to require a high level of working capital. Because the old ice house's main expense will be depreciation, the positive cash flow will significantly exceed operating income. It will still be modest, but the LLC's primary purpose is to shelter the property from liability while it appreciates in value, not to generate a large cash inflow. Garden of Eden, on the other hand, is expected to bring in enough cash for both. The total startup costs include the cost of the hydroponic equipment and enough working capital to cover the first year's operating expenses. As may be seen, more than half the initial investment is allocated to working capital. Estimated revenue includes revenue from the sale of greens and herbs and from the cafe. The financial projections assume that Garden of Eden will initially be able to sell 75% of the farm's crop to wholesalers. Cost of sales for the hydroponic farm, which include easily allocable costs such as seedlings and fertilizer, was calculated using estimates provided by ZipGrow. Cost of sales for the cafe includes ingredient costs, which are expected to be around 30% of sales. Operating expenses include rent paid to the old ice house and depreciation of the hydroponic equipment. The financial projections also include a reserve for contingencies, which is calculated as 10% of operating expenses, excluding depreciation and bad debt expense. As will be seen, revenue anticipated in the first year exceeds total startup costs. Net income is expected to be about 44% of revenue. Of course, these projections are only estimates. The hydroponic farm's profits depend on the mix of greens and herbs grown, which is flexible enough to be changed to meet variation in demand. Revenue is also dependent in large measure on the percentage of capacity sold, which may exceed the projected 75% as Garden of Eden establishes itself and finds more markets for its produce. It is assumed the hydroponic farm will be sold on credit and paid for in the following month, while cafe sales will be made in cash. Only about 56% of cash received will be required to cover operating expenses and cost of goods sold, which leaves Garden of Eden with a positive cash flow of over 1.2 million. At this rate, the initial investment for Garden of Eden and the affiliated LLC can be recovered in 5 years. Now I'm going to let my colleague cover the break-even analyses for the two entities.
All right, so now looking at our break-even analysis, really what these graphs are showing is where we start making money. So obviously our main business is Garden of Eden, and this part of our business, again, is the farm and cafe. And so what this graph is showing here is that 40% of production capacity, we will be breaking even. Our fixed costs for Garden of Eden is about $1.5 million a year. 40% of production is when we break even. And then after that, 60% is when we start making money. For the Old Ice House LLC, what this graph is showing is based off of rent. So at $10,000 a month is when we would break even. Old Ice House is going to charge the Garden of Eden $16,000, and so this will give $6,000 per month in profit. So why should an investor invest in Garden of Eden? The big reason is our profitability. We have a 26% rate of return. And the main reason for this is if you look at our margins are really high. Produce in general can give a really high margin, especially where we're selling it to. Our channels of sales are to wholesalers and local restaurants. We have an initial investment of $5.4 million, and this is relatively low when you look at our rate of return, which is 26%. The other reason is we are a sustainable company. We are a company that is focused on food safety, and we're a year-round production company that is going to provide organic, healthy, fresh produce And again, year-round is huge when it comes to wholesalers. They don't want to have to deal with multiple different farmers. They want to deal with one year-round. And if we can be that local producer, they're going to come to us every single time. And so we really feel like our technology is going to give us an advantage over other competition. There isn't really a competition in the local area for winter lettuce. They have to export it. So they are going to potentially save money because they're not going to have to export it from South America or California. They're going to get it right in the backyard. And so if you're looking for a company that is young, it is innovative, it is going places, and if you want a company that can serve its community like we anticipate we can, then you should put your money with us. Thanks for listening, and we will now take your questions. We first want to just say thank you to our mentor, our community mentor, as well as thank you to our professors for all the input, feedback, and critiques that you guys gave us as well.